Welcome back, Yena. So this is officially the second video that mommy has been doing for you. And okay, if you're wondering, before I start the topic, so if you're wondering why there's a big gap, it's because mommy has been trying to film with you along, but it all turns out that you have been crying and mommy couldn't continue the filming, so it has been like a failure. So, and another reason is, before you are independent enough to be on your own, mommy won't be doing any editing. So all the videos you are watching are pretty raw. It's right from the start till the end. Nothing really, I would say, that has been edited. So it's just a straight one-time thing. So if you're wondering that why sometimes that mommy just go pausing, looking blankly or things like that, that would be probably that mommy is trying to run through her thoughts and everything and making sure that I get my ideas, my memory right. And sometimes probably you are getting a bit agitated, or you are maybe crying or whining, and mommy trying to smooth you out. So this could be the reason. So just in case that anyone is watching, especially you, Yena, watching, so this is the reason why. Okay, so without any ranting, I should start off. Okay, before that, I would love to welcome those who have stumbled upon this video. Okay, so this whole channel is dedicated to my daughter, who is sitting right here, and I would like to gift her this as a gift when she grew much older. So it will be kind of a journey with us from the start till not sure when, but it will be all little bits and pieces. So about us, about our baby Yena. Okay, so without further ado, so I will start with the topic. I almost lost you. Yes, so it was a very uneasy and topic to touch on seriously, because at first I was really skeptical whether to share this with you, like throughout the pregnancy, labor and things like that. But I felt that it would be nice and it might be a good help in the future, because that's what mommy experienced during this whole pregnancy. When mommy was pregnant, I have referred a lot of things to your grandma, my mom, things that she has experienced when she was pregnant, and how certain things that is related and answered when I had similar symptoms or even similar experiences. So I would love to record it down, because by the time you're asking me, probably I would have forgotten a lot of details, and probably I would have mixed up certain experience and things like that. So to be more precise in some sense, and you're able to get a more detailed of you, of your oh no, not your pregnancy, but of you in mommy. I would love to do all these videos. So if you are pregnant one day, you would love to know more, you can just click on any of these videos that mommy is going to film and upload it, so you can watch them. If not, you can just skip through and just watch any of those that you would love to know more. Okay, so without further ado, I have to go back to the topic. Okay, you can see mommy is like jumbled out with all the thinking. Okay, so back to the topic. Yes, mommy almost lost you. That is very serious. Okay, the very first trimester. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I can't tell you very in detail, that into that detail sense, like it's like, you know, some of the vlogger has been doing like on a bi-weekly basis, weekly basis, that kind of thing. So it has been all done and over, so I can't be like going into that much of detail, but I'm going to touch on per trimester. So the very first trimester would be like from first month to about the third, and the second trimester is the fourth to seventh and eighth to 10. So for the first trimester, the biggest issue that I had was I have been spotting and bleeding a lot. So if you are pregnant or have been pregnant before, you would know that is one of the biggest signs that I may be miscarrying you. And by now you may know that you are my firstborn, but it's not my very first pregnancy. So what happened to the first one? Mommy lost it. And what's the symptom? Bleeding. So when mommy started to bleed at this pregnancy with you, mommy got into total paranoid. I'm not joking. So when mommy knew that I was pregnant really early, very, very early as like the second week of pregnant, fetus age 2 weeks or the third week, because you are a planned pregnancy. So mommy has been tracking through OPKs. If you are not aware, OPKs is ovulation prediction kit. So which means mommy know exactly when mommy is ovulating. So after that, mommy also have been using the pregnancy test kit to test when mommy is pregnant. So mommy knew that I was pregnant with you pretty early. And I won't go into detail like how I was feeling because I want to go straight into this topic. So mommy knew that I was pregnant probably 70 PO, which means officially will be like 2 weeks pregnant. So it was really early. And mommy didn't plan to go to any gynae until probably you are about 7 or 8 weeks, as according to fetus age, or according to pregnancy, 7 to 8 weeks pregnant. But I was bleeding so much, and because I lost the very first, mommy couldn't think more but go straight to a gynae. But because it was so early on the ultrasound, we can't see you. Basically, you are not sent, you are not found. And that made mommy a little bit worried. But definitely I do understand it was way too early to see you. So luckily the doctor did blood work and the HCG was about 600 plus. So with 2 weeks pregnant, with that amount of HCG, they are kind of safe to say that I am pregnant. But they can't rule out that whether is it an ectopic pregnancy or chemical pregnancy. No, they can't rule it out. So mommy is still very anxious. And the thing that wasn't helping is the bleeding continued. So the very next week, I can't wait anymore. So I went for the second round. And this time around, thank God, we are able to see a very small, really very small yolk sac. So that kind of rule out that you are an ectopic or chemical. So which means you have already implant and you are growing, but with the bleeding and everything else, the gynae is not good to say that it's going to be smooth. I'm not going to lose you. So at that point of time, they just asked me to just wait a little bit and see how it goes. So daddy tried to comfort mommy, and so we kind of calmed down a little bit, and so we went back and just relax, bed rest, and see how it goes. And you know what? No improvement. So with your panicky mommy, definitely one more round. So this time round when we went there, the yolk sac had grown bigger, but we couldn't see any feeder pole or anything. That's when I get a little bit worried. Okay, not a little, super worried that whether it will end up with the first pregnancy. So this time around, the doctor has prescribed mommy some progesterone pill to insert through that way, and hopefully that would be a good help, because that is one of the symptoms that many moms faces, because they are low in progesterone, and low in progesterone will cause miscarriage easily, because they are not able to grow the baby well in that sense. So maybe you want to Google something about that. So I was like, okay, I have the progesterone pill, so everything will go well, because mommy's other friends who had the similar symptoms and all, turned out to be safe after that. But nope, it still didn't turn out too well. I continued to bleed and everything, and by that time I was about 12 weeks pregnant. So no, so what your panicky mommy does, no, I wasn't 12-week pregnant, I was 8-week pregnant. So this time around we went again. Thank goodness we saw you and your heartbeat. It was really the most touching time. So you have a very strong heartbeat. The rate is also very good. It was 150 something. So we were very happy. So the doctor kind of like, okay, so since the pill doesn't work, so we had an injection instead. So I forgotten, was it a progesterone injection or is it some other hormone things? But miraculously after that injection, the bleeding has reduced. So I still do get a little bit spotting here and there, but definitely not as alarming as what it was. So you just continue, and things slightly become more stable, and I started to go on with my daily routine, such as exercising and things like that. But before I can move on to the second trimester, in the midst of my first trimester, my morning sickness started tree off, and it wasn't good. It was pretty bad, I must say. So be careful in the future when you are pregnant or going to be pregnant or planned to be pregnant. Please be mentally prepared that you may go through a very bad morning sickness, but please don't get over worried about all these things. It will be over. You will be so overjoyed with your newborn. You will be so preoccupied by other things. So don't worry about the morning sickness and things like that, though you may go through it, because mommy had, so you may, okay, you have a chance of that. But I will pray for you that it doesn't happen to you. Okay, so with the vomiting, it kind of burned mommy's throat down and everything else, so mommy started to vomit blood instead. Yes, blood. So definitely daddy get panicky with mommy vomiting blood. Daddy almost sent mommy straight to the hospital to go on an IV and things like that, but thankfully mommy insists of not going. We just rest. We try to drink a lot of so-called tonic soup and things like that, and it did help a little bit here and there. But because with the morning sickness and the bleeding that I had earlier, mommy's blood count was really low, so mommy had a dizzy spell. So I was a little bit worried, because if I just faint with you, it will be very dangerous, that I may lose you anytime because of the fainting. So mommy has been trying to be really careful, so I have to stop all the exercising and everything, just rest, just focusing on you. Okay, so thankfully it went pretty well. The whole spotting really ended when I was about 13 weeks, 12 to 13 weeks pregnant, and it just miraculously just stopped. And there was a myth saying that usually during pregnancy, you know, between from first week to 20 weeks, and you get a little bit of spotting and things here and there, is a highly suggestion that you are pregnant with a girl. So that time I was wondering, and I was guessing probably it's a girl, and thankfully it was because mommy is totally into girl. Okay, so I should stop on that and focus on my topic. If not, I'll go run wild again. Okay, so that is the very first trimester. So now I'll move on to the second trimester. So as you would be thinking that things have settled down, like kind of smooth it out, the bleeding has stopped, spotting has stopped, and morning sickness has been in control, though it's still there, but mommy has an idea what not to eat and what are the foods to intake. The second thing came in. So mommy was carrying you low. What does that mean? Which means you are very, very, very near the opening of the cervical. So what would that cause? Which means mommy has a tendency to lose you easily if I'm going to exert too much strength and things like that. So mommy has to be really careful. Yeah, exactly. Like one thing another. So there's no 1 minute that mommy has no need to worry about it. So mommy has to do a lot of bed rest, raise my legs and things like that. And doctor says there's nothing that I can do to help for you to go upwards. I only can try to prevent losing you, but I can't do anything to help, which is not helping me emotionally. So ultimately it just went on, and thankfully with a lot of bed rest and legs being raised and things like that, mommy managed to carry you through the second trimester. And with the morning sickness even more settled, because I know exactly what kind of food is okay for mommy to take to prevent more vomiting, and what are the foods that definitely a big no-no. So it was all good. So the third trimester, there was a little bit of honeymoon period. Yes, it was just very short, but it was good. And before the next bad news came, so I was about 37 or 38 weeks pregnant, and at that appointment, doctor, the gynae, has told mommy that you are not going down. Okay, so what is the risk of that? So it wasn't as worrying as the first two, as what previously has happened, but the only thing is that I might just end up having an operation to take you out, and that's not mommy's wish. So from then on, mommy has to work out a lot, exercise, everything, and seriously, it wasn't helping. So by 39 weeks at the appointment, you are still high up there. So mommy was thinking, you know what, as long as you're healthy and mommy can carry you to full term and everything, that's good enough. So that's it. So the whole pregnancy was kind of tedious until the very last part, and even the very, very, very last, you were high up, and we almost had to go for cesarean. We already had set a date on that, but thankfully you just make your appearance a day before your EDD, and I will do another video on that. Like I say, that I would love to have you related, to mommy's pregnancy when one day you are pregnant. So I'll do all these videos when it's still something that mommy can remember. Okay, so anyway, the whole pregnancy wasn't as smooth, and thankfully, and being blessed, mommy had you here. So this is what the whole video about for today, that mommy almost lost you, but thankfully mommy took some advice from friends about the post restaurant and things like that, and being very proactive, going on to the doctor and everything. So don't be shy, don't be thinking that, oh, the doctor might be think that I am insane and things like that. Just do whatever you feel that is comforting, especially emotionally settling. So talk to your husband or your partner or whoever that is beside you, and make sure that everything goes right. Okay, because if one day, if you lose it, you have done everything. There's no regret, and you won't go as emotionally as what mom have went through. I know there's always something that it can be done, but if you already tried your best, that from your knowledge what are the things that you can think of, then it's all good. And to prevent that from happening, be sure, don't be shy, do whatever you need to do. So this video, okay, so this video will end roughly here because you're waking up. Okay, so hopefully these videos will help you along and make you relate. So thankful for other people, other subscribers. Okay, I would think that you're part of my family, so instead of subscribers, I would say that you are my family. So thank you to other family members who are watching this. So stay tuned for the next one, and that's all for today.